Okay, there we go. Save, save, and save. Okay, there we go. Perfect, it's all good. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey there, hi there, ho there, everybody. It's Mindful Pig here, and this is the season finale. Woo! We made it, everybody. Yeah, come on. But yeah, it's the season finale of the Two Tired Dudes podcast. And on this beautiful episode, we'll just be talking about all our games that we played this past couple years. By couple years, I mean this year. Don't know why I said couple. My bad. Never was okay. Good. Yeah, it's on. Sorry, Restream was messing with me. He was saying things that weren't really there. um, but yeah, in this episode, we're just gonna be going over all of our favorite games. That's all it's about, baby. Talk about all the games we played this year and which game took the top spot as the number one game. It has been beating my mind senselessly. Is that a word? No, I said that right. It's been beating my mind senselessly. Senseless. You know what I mean, okay? Christ, I hate my life right now. Um, oh, nice. Okay, Jimmy sent me his game of the year, so he won't be able to make it on tonight. That's okay. I also gotta do my promotion in Discord. Oh, I forgot. But yeah, so we're going over all the games we liked and which one took the top spot. I'm just gonna quickly go to self promotion and let everyone know. It's podcast time. Game of the year. Okay, cool beans. That's all done. Hello, Marie. How's it going? How's your day? But yeah, so there's been a lot. I kind of forgot like everything I actually played this year. Like it's always funny, eh? Like I in January and like up until like I don't know April, I'll be like, yeah, I'll never forget those games. They were so damn good. And then like when I do this freaking show every time, I end up forgetting. It's like, oh yeah, I did play that. Shit. um, just trying to quickly see here. Really help if Mindful did this ahead of time instead of the way Mindful always does things last minute. There we go, achievements. That's all I wanted to get up there. I already know the PlayStation 4 games I played, so none of those should really surprise me. But yeah, this year was probably the hardest year I had as far as picking out games go. Because the first year I actually played a lot of fucking games. Like I'm pretty proud of myself. Like, okay, with that, okay, before I get myself all hyped up, let's be real though for a second. I did, and there is a video of me saying it at the beginning of the year. I did say I was gonna beat 3 games, and I came to the realization that I beat 1 freaking game this whole year. The reason I beat it was because myself, Z-Chick, and Tommy were all in a race to see who could beat the game the fastest. Um, like still going through it properly, but like, who would actually end up reaching the end. And I won. I'm gonna throw that out there. But yeah, it was the only game I managed to beat all freaking year long, and that's really sad actually. But this was also the year that I got the Switch, so I got a whole new library of games to try out. I got a PS4, so that introduced a whole new catalog of games, plus the Xbox, some mobile games, right? So we had a good freaking pool of games. Like it was a lot to think about, and I'm still kind of stumped. So as I talk, um I might be able to come to a conclusion. I have an idea of what my game of the year is, but it's still not at that point where I'm ready to say like, boom, baby, that's my game of the year. I'm also gonna quickly pull up Twitter because I did have a whole whack of people respond to the tweet I posted. Hell yeah, Mindful's getting some responses. Also, Did anyone see the Rockstar trailer? Because I'm with the Rockstar trailer. What am I saying? The Grand Theft Auto trailer by Rockstar. Because I'm freaking jacked, baby. I'm so jacked. We're going back to Vice City. That's my favorite Grand Theft Auto. Literally haven't played any Grand Theft Auto since that moment. Like, oh, I wanted to get the that trilogy pack that they released so bad, but I was so scared that I would buy it and it would kill all the nostalgia I have for Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I still haven't played San Andreas. I really want to just to see what I missed out on. We also got our delicious coffee that I made at my 7-Eleven. There's these little what do you call them? Like luxury coffees. I don't know what you really call them. Lattes and all that kind of jazz. You know what I mean? You just push the button and it pours out. But anyway, there's 5 of them. And like when it comes to Slurpees, soda pop, I'm all about the mixing. I'm like, oh yeah, these two flavors are gonna taste good together. But I've never done it with the coffee. I've always done like, French vanilla halfway and then pour in regular coffee, or um, pumpkin spice and the same idea, right? But I've never like thought about like, whoa, buddy, I can mix lattes right now. So I've been mixing English toffee and French vanilla together, and it's so good. It's so sugary. I know it's terrible for me, but it's so goddamn delicious. I love it. Um, yeah, I really derailed myself there. Remember, I started talking about the coffee. But yeah, this coffee's really, really good. Um, that's my end of my TED talk. No, shit. Yeah, I really don't remember what I was talking before coffee. Wow. Okay, well, I guess I'll have fun editing that part of the goddamn podcast later. I did upload the next podcast though, but sad days because unfortunately Mindful was a goofball, and instead of highlighting his podcast the minute he's done, I always go, you know what? I'm gonna wait. I'm sure that at one point, I'm going to. Sorry, what's that? It's a friend's birthday. I'm trying to surprise her. Can you please use her creator code? Oh yeah, sure. Thanks for the follow. Not sure what you mean by creative code. Like for a game? If I play the game, I can always look it up, and you're more than welcome to send me a whisper about it. But yeah, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Hope your friend has a good birthday as well. Happy birthday to him or her. Oh, her, sorry. Um, yeah, so anyway, what was I saying now? Oh man, I'm just brain farting left, right, and center today. You know what? Let's just pull up Twitter, because at this point, my phone's not gonna remember jack crap at this point. I'm really trying not to swear this stream. I'm trying. But yeah, anyway, on Twitter, I ended up posting and asking everyone what their favorite game of the year was. And I did get a few responses, like I was saying. So we got Lazy Geek. His game of the year was Dead Island 2. I know, Marie, this must be great for you. You're like, I know everything you said, sucker. But yeah, Lazy Geek's game of the year was Dead Island 2. He waited 9 years and he wasn't disappointed. Best thing was that it was glitch free as far as I saw. Only gripe is that he wish it was longer, which is honestly like Dead Island 2. I feel like if I would have played it, I think I would have probably had a stronger opinion on it. But I did play the first Dead Island. I never played Riptide yet, so I kind of want to play that one before I play number 2, just so I could say I played it. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to go back to an older game after you played a more modern version of it. So I don't want to play Dead Island 2 and not play Riptide and then be like, I don't want to play Riptide. Riptide's bullshit. But yeah, I feel like if I would have played Dead Island 2, I probably would have had that much further up my list because I feel the same way. The first Dead Island was fantastic. Like they could have made that game over again with better graphics, and I would have been happy. Like, go ahead, slap Dead Island 2 on that. And that's all I needed, baby. Because if you don't know, basically my journey with that game was I played on the 360, and the minute I found out it was an RPG with zombies, that was it. I was sold. And I was like, and you're on an island? Boom. I love this, baby. And yeah, I literally played that from the 360 all the way to the Xbox One, and that's when I finally beat the campaign. I had over like 200 hours clocked in, probably close to 300 in all honesty, and I had like 3 different characters that I made. that I was like leveling up and working with, and yeah, it's just such a good time. Dead Island is such a fantastic game. If you've never tried it, please, for the love of God, do yourself a favor and try that game. So anyway, yeah, I do agree with Dead Island 2 getting a spot. I think it was a long time we waited for that game, and in all honesty, like I was trying to say earlier, is that it's weird that this game didn't get talked about more because almost everybody I've heard um, has said positive things about Dead Island 2. Everyone kind of had that same consensus that they wish it was longer. They thought it was kind of missing out in that aspect. But the game itself was just fantastic. And anyone who I heard had played the game at least had no complaints. And that was the other thing too. There was no like glitches that were found, which is, really good. Like nowadays for games, that's pretty freaking awesome. Um, his second, third, and fourth game would have been Dead Space Remake. Excellent, excellent choice. Endling, Extinction is Forever. I've never heard of that one. That one kind of caught my eye because of the art style, so I'm kind of curious what that one is. I might take a peek at it. And of course, Spider-Man 2 wrapping up his list. Um, just want to make sure. Okay, yeah, I think that was Lazy Geek. Honestly, was just going off and telling me a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, it looks like that was the end for the Twitter ones. It was just a really good tweet. It just got a lot of attention for once. Marie, what do you got for me? Let's see. Yours is, of course, it's RimWorld. Come on now. RimWorld got some DLC. Biotech is absolutely favorite, worth every penny. It adds generations via birth or two babies. Ooh, robot helpers and different character xenotypes. So much content. My gosh. Okay, you know what? Live right now. Mindful's so good. I know. You know what? I'm gonna say live right now. We're gonna type this in. I want to see if this bad boy is more than just on PC. RimWorld. What consoles? Watch it be PC and Switch. Oh snap! It's literally for PS4 and Xbox One as well. I'm so fucking excited. Oh, Marie, we're jumping into that world. We're definitely gonna I'm gonna dip my toe into that game. Let's see how much is it. I mean, that's a hefty price tag. Not gonna lie, $51. But you know what? You've hyped it up enough. I will definitely purchase that one in the new year. Okay, wow, it is completely different. I did not think. Is this a space game? Oh no, you begin with three survivors on a shipwreck. Oh, a distant world. So, like, is it like space, or it's just like a different world in our planet? Couldn't think of what I wanted to say. Oh, that's cool. So this one's like the oh, it's RimWorld Console Edition. Okay, that was like a special edition. I hope that means like I still get most of the same stuff you did. It's like colony building. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, I'm so excited because yeah, you definitely hyped up that game quite a few times. So I want to definitely try that one out. Okay, nice. Now I know. I wonder. I'll still have to see if it's on PS4. Well, it is. I mean, it is on PS4. I'll see what it costs on PS4 because I'd rather have it on there just because if I stream it, it'll be better for the audio quality than it would be on the Xbox. Um, okay, so we got yours. So yours is RimWorld. I'll double check the Discord. I don't think I missed anybody on there. I also have Jimmy. He sent me in his response because unfortunately he won't be able to make it on tonight. Baby duties. Um, podcast. There we go. I don't think anybody shouted out anything on there. Kino, no. So if there's any other ones, hopefully people will hop on and they'll yell them out. But let's go to our favorite dude of all time, Mr. Jimmy. Let's go see what he had to say. So Jimmy's response was, "My game of the year is Resident Evil 4 remake. It was just so amazing how it took. I knew he was gonna pick Resident Evil. That sly little dog. It was just so amazing how it took the original game, which I didn't have high up on my favorite Resident Evils, and made it something that was so much better than the original. Now that being said, I do think Baldur's Gate 3 deserves Game of the Year, but him personally, he think it's Resident Evil 4 remake. It's so funny, like when I fire this question out, because in my mind, like I hate doing like just the games that came out this year. When I ask this question, right, it's always like whatever game. I don't care if the game was 20 years old and you just played it for the first time and you thought it was the most beautiful thing in the world. Like, by God, shout that out. But I always get like a lot of people just pick like games that just came out this year, which is definitely not about. But I mean, hey, if that was your favorite game of the year, sure, go ahead. But like in the what do you call it? In the case of Lazy Geek, I'm curious if he only played new games this year or if he did play older games. Because I know we were having a conversation too. I'm talking really fast. Well, it's supposed to be good coffee. Um, I know in his case, I think he played the Metal Gear Solid games, but he played the remasters, right? So, um, yeah, I'm curious if he's played the older games or if he's just played newer games. But yeah, while we wait for everyone to come on, and Marie, of course, if there's any other games you want to shout out that you thought were fantastic that you played this year, by all means, go for it. Um, Mindful's list. Woo, woo, woo. Where do we begin? Actually, wait, Cheyenne, did you have anything that you played this year? I think I know exactly what your game of the year is going to be, but I just want to hear you say it. Does it start with a motherfucking G? Yeah, it does. So you sicko. Cheyenne's game of the year would be Golf with Frickin' Friends. Golf with Friends. Everything that's come out. Everything that's come out of the past. And that was the game that captured your soul this year. Just a little. For you guys that can't see, I was doing the golf motion while I did that. What's the golf motion? The putter motion, right? Yeah. The swaying motion? Swinging? You kind of sway when you take a swing. Seriously, though, 7-Eleven, what'd you put in this? Yeah, a little rummy poo to it, apparently. What are you doing? Why are you looking at me? Anyway, sorry, guys. What did you say? They did. There's a little crack, little, something. Just let it go, Mindful. The joke's done. You're over. Hats off. Yeah, so my games of the year. So we have to start the list off with Jedi Fallen Order was the one? Yeah, because Survivor is the new one, right? Yeah, so Fallen Order. Um Shia, I'm talking. Enough with the oh my gods. He's not gonna save you. Um I just you're killing this, you know that, right? I'm so hyped. And you're just mocking me. I'm just joking. Yeah, Shia, thanks. You derailed me again. Star Wars Fallen Order. There we go, back on track. That was gonna be definitely my game of the year this time around, but it's not. Okay, and it was really hard to think of a reason like why it wouldn't be my game of the year. So first off, I'm gonna go through all the greats. If you haven't played that one yet, and hopefully you haven't played the second one. Hopefully this will be your brand new experience. Please, 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 please play the first one. Um, I absolutely love Battlefront, not the newer one, the older one. Um, I did enjoy the Force Unleashed. I haven't tried Jedi Academy yet. Like, there's a few I haven't done a list, right? But I've played a fair share of Star Wars games. And I know this is going to give me a lot of hate, but I have to say it. I think this is hands down the best Star Wars game I have ever played. It has its faults. It has glitches. It has thinking way back then because it's a little hard to remember. I believe the map was a little bit difficult as far as finding where the collectibles might be. Sometimes where to go got a little bit confusing. There wasn't a lot of like instructions during certain parts. Um, who was some of the other gripes I had? Oh, my other gripe I know I had at the time was that I wish that they would have tracked the special bosses that you have to fight. I kind of just stumbled across a lot of them, and I wasn't sure if there was just one of them. I wasn't sure where else to explore in that world, right? Sorry, I got itchy. Um, so if they had something like that, like just to say, like, I don't know, when you click on the planet, let's just say main boss, and it shows 0 out of 1 or 1 out of 1. Then like side bosses 1 out of 1, 1 out of 2, whatever the case might be. So things like that. I wish they would have just included some little, what do you call them? It's not state of life. Good lord, quality of life, is that the term? I think it is. Yeah, that's the coin we spin on this one, right? Quality of life changes. Um, if they had more of those, I think that game would have sold me. But because it was missing that, I didn't make it my game of the year. However, I do remember beating that game, and it's a new game plus, and I haven't tried it yet. And I feel like if I would have, this might have actually made it my game of the year, because in that description of new game plus, it said that there was more content and new characters to come across, which is extremely exciting. I think if you're gonna go for New Game Plus, that's definitely what needs to be included. I know there's been a lot of different versions of it. Sometimes it's just a harder, version of that game. Sometimes you have to do it 3 or 4 times, right, to get the true ending of a story. Those two are bullshit. Don't do that shit. Don't fuck with gamers. Keep it the way it is. But now again, I haven't played it, so maybe they didn't do this the way I'm envisioning in my head right now. But I'm picturing oh my god, you do a new game plus, and hopefully you get to come across a few more planets with maybe some different characters that add to the story. So from start to finish, it's still the same idea, but there's a little more meat on the bones. Midway through it, or even at the beginning, or closer to the end, wherever the case is. Because that was another gripe I had with that game. There wasn't a lot of planets, and there was a lot of backtracking to those planets. So going back to them and going an alternative route this time, that you might have not gone down the first time. So those are well, I guess more than two, but a few minor complaints. The positives about the game, and definitely why you should try it, and why this is the best Star Wars game, is number one, this was the first time, and not just me. I think Tommy, shout out to my Tommy because he's on the thing right now. Um, I think with Tommy, you mentioned it, and I know for a fact Z-Chick mentioned it, but when you were playing Fallen Order, you actually felt like a Jedi. Like you felt the stages of being a Padawan learner all the way up to being the Grand Master, the Jedi Master. And the way, like, the story wasn't something that's gonna like move you, but the story was good. I thought the characters were good. Other people might have different opinions, but it added to what I was trying to experience in that game. And that was starting off as like a nobody who just has a lightsaber, all the way up to be like, holy shit, I'm as good as Yoda or Mace Windu at this point. Um, and then, like, I don't want to spoil too much, so if you haven't played the game, you haven't beaten it, please just skip past the next minute or so, because I'm going to spoil the ending. But I do love how that game ended, where you reach that point, the game praises you. You get the freaking Jedi knighting, you know what I mean? Like the one girl that's on your crew in your spaceship, she ends up knighting you as a Jedi master. And you walk into this base like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna own this shit, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be the king cheese right now, and I can't remember what it was. I think I was saving somebody out of a prison or something. Something was going on that level. But you go through it, you beat the final boss, and then that's when the big moment happens. Um, oh, okay. Sorry, Tommy. I understand if you don't want to hear this part, you have to tune it out. Um, But yeah, so the big finale ends up happening, and Darth Vader shows up. And it's such a sick scene because you defeat the final boss, but you don't kill her. But fucking Vader just snaps her neck, right then and there. And then your boy tries to take him on, and it's just this huge reality check of, even though you just plugged in like 30 hours, you are not a Jedi Master yet, my friend. And Darth Vader is way beyond your power level. He just smokes you, and then the whole objective turns from being the badass that owns everything to being the chicken shit that just runs the fuck out of there. Uh, and there's a few little plot changes that happen too in that one. Again, I don't want to give away too much, but a character that's on your ship shows a little bit of the dark side. And yeah, what do you call it? Your main character, I can't remember his name now. It's Kelvin or whatever his name was. Um, he ends up stopping her. I hope I remember this all correctly still. But yeah, he ends up stepping her. Still, why not stopping her? And ending the event right then and there. But yeah, he really takes down, or sorry, she almost takes down Darth Vader in that scene, and it's so good. The whole thing is just fantastic, start to finish. Yeah, there isn't a lot of customization, but like I said, if you want to experience what it's like to be a Jedi, this is probably the closest thing you're ever going to get. It is the game that got me into the Dark Souls genre. Playing that game made me go like, "Hey, you know what? I can handle Dark Souls if I can handle this." Sorry. Um, yeah, like I can't praise that game enough. It was just such a good experience. It's not often mindful beats a game within a month, and I beat that game I think in 3 weeks. Like I was just so determined with it. Sorry, Tommy, I'm gonna take a little peek here what you had to say, buddy. I know you're typing a few things. Yeah, PlayStation trophies need that. You only get that from Xbox achievements. I know you're talking about in games. Oh, okay. Thanks, Tommy. I felt like that for when I played, but you two played more than me. And then finally, his power level is over 9,000. Do you ever think you'll go back to it, Tommy? It would be nice to hear what you think when you wrap it all up and your thoughts on the ending. Also, my friend, because I know you're not on Discord, so you don't get to hear all this. This podcast is going to be the season finale. I won't be back until January for, well, I mean, I'll be streaming, but I won't be doing a podcast until January. um, and this one's a special one because basically it's just our shout out for games of the year. So when I say that right, it just means think of every game you played this year. What game stood out to you, and why is that your game of the year? You can shout out as many games as you want. I do not mind. I will read them all out. But definitely let me know what game you thought really like won you over this year. Okay, I'm not going to go by months because I'm definitely not going to remember every single month and every single game I played. But I am going to go through like the games as they're firing in my head as we work our way down to my number one spot. Um, Same. That was my goal. Okay, no, sorry. My goal this year was to beat 3 games, and I only beat Star Wars, so that was definitely a miss. But this was definitely the game where I played. Sorry, this is the year where I played the most games ever. God, Mindful is just too full of energy and stuttering like a shit wolf today. But yeah, I don't think I've ever played as many games or played on as many consoles as I did this year. I'm extremely satisfied with how I did my gaming this year. But number two I was going to talk about is Red Dead Redemption 2. It was when I thought about that game and realized like the effort and time I put into it this year. Um, it was so hard not to say that was my game of the year. But again, there are parts of it that I don't think I don't think stands out as the game that I would say like, hey, this is my game of the year. This is the game you definitely should be trying. So the pros, right? This is Red Dead. It is Rockstar at its finest. Even being the second installment in the game, they proved once again that they can capture that Wild West feeling and have you on an emotional roller coaster. It was incredibly hard to make a prequel to such a hyped up first game. You know what I mean? Um, I mean, it's easy. Well, I guess not easy, but it wasn't as difficult probably to make all the other characters that are in there, because like it's Dutch and Bill, right? So I don't imagine it being too difficult to make them. Splash in a few new characters, may make sure. I haven't played the first game in a long time, so I'm not sure if they talked about the old gang, but if any names are mentioned, obviously they would have to make sure they made those characters. But long story short, John Marston was definitely the big boy on campus that had to be nailed correctly. I think they did a fantastic job showing a younger version of John Marston. Um, that game too, the reason why I said it was so hard to not make it my game of the year is I was in love with Red Dead. And this is the thing with me. I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but when I really love a first entry in a game, I always find that it's so difficult to like the second entry because you just get so attached to those characters, that story, whatever the case might be, right? Like you just get really invested in it. I found that with Oblivion versus Skyrim. I could not enjoy Skyrim the same way that I enjoyed Oblivion. Um, and what was the other one? Sorry. Fallout 3 versus Fallout New Vegas. I did not enjoy New Vegas as much as I enjoyed number 3. But every once in a while, they surprised me. And I walked into there. My mindset was this. I was like, I'm not going to like Arthur Morgan. There's no way he's as good as John Marston. You know what I mean? It's stupid. They should have just stayed with John Marston. That opinion probably changed within the first 5 hours of gameplay. And my love and like investment in Arthur Morgan just progressed immensely as I continued playing. This character is just so fantastic, so well written. Um, I can't praise Rockstar enough for making us love another character in this game. It kind of sucks because I'm really, really close to beating this game, so I do know that Arthur Morgan dies. Spoiler alert. I have an idea of how Arthur dies as well, but I don't know entirely yet. So when I reach that point, I'll handle that then. Um, but right now, like just the little interactions, um, the constant like having to move your camp because Dutch is slowly, I guess, he's slowly going crazy because he kind of is, right? He's not the Dutch that originally started that gang. He is becoming more and more like the Dutch that ends up betraying John Marston and running off to Mexico and focusing on himself only, right? He's definitely becoming the villain that he was portrayed in the first game. I liked the camp mechanics. I first, again, it was another thing where I was like, you know what, I'm going to be intimidated by this. It's just too much to worry about. I don't want to worry about my food, my drink, my haircut, my bath, my camp. Like it sounded like a lot, and it is a lot. Don't get me wrong, but Rockstar did it in such a good way that it's just part of the gameplay. It's honestly just part of the gameplay. Um, Speaking of Rockstar streamer, oh yeah, GTA 6 trailer dropped today. It was pretty sick. I think it dropped yesterday actually. Sorry, where it got leaked. But yeah, it looks really really good. I was hyping that up earlier, saying that it's Vice City vibes all over again. But yeah, they roll it out in such a way throughout the game that you never feel like you're doing too much. In fact, you're usually so invested in what you're doing, like if it's helping the camp out, if it's just exploring the open world, if it's talking to one of your favorite camp people there and helping them out with a quest. I think there's something called loyalty missions. I think that was one of them where you did certain things for people that were at the camp, and then that would earn you brownie points with them. I mean, you have all the old classic games. You can just go into town and play poker to your heart's content. You can um, do horse races. I think there's like shoot offs and stuff like that. There's tons and tons of side quests that are available for you. The main quests are just what you expect from a Rockstar game. High action cinema um, events, right? The like robbing a train is one of them. Um, Going into a town and just messing it up, right? Like, oh, it's. I can't express how great that game was put together. Even something as simple as fishing is so much fun in Red Dead 2. My cons, I would say, is it's it's a short game. So even though I haven't beaten it, I did look it up so I would know because I didn't want to make the same mistake I did in Red Dead 1, where I just powered through the main game, beat it, and then I couldn't go back and explore that whole world as John Marston because, again, spoiler alert, John dies in the first game and you end up playing as the son afterwards, right? So I think it was only like 5 chapters long, and honestly, those chapters go by pretty quickly when you're playing it. So I think right now I'm on chapter 3 or 4, can't remember. Um, and I just had to stop all the main quests and just focus on side missions and having fun. So I probably could have beaten that game this year, but I didn't want to lose anything in the progress, right? Like I wanted to actually play the game until I was just sick of it. Which surprisingly, there's a lot to do. So I guess that would be one con, is that it is relatively short. I do wish that Rockstar would make kind of longer campaigns. I feel like they do a really good job with Grand Theft Auto. They always make those stories pretty long and decent. Red Dead, they kind of just streamline that a little bit too quickly. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the way that you can see all the quests on the map immediately. Well, no, you can see that on Grand Theft Auto as well. I don't know. Something about that it just seems like Red Dead's just a lot quicker to beat than it would be a Grand Theft Auto game. That's a little statistic I'll have to look up. I'll have to see which one had the bigger main story hours put in. See if Grand Theft Auto 5 actually had more, or if it was the same. The other con I guess I'd have with Red Dead 2 is as much as it's fun to be invested, again, if this was a game that you only had an hour or so to play, you probably wouldn't want to play it because an hour on that game is like an hour in Skyrim, right? You could just be traveling around and doing nothing at all for 1 hour, and then that's it. Your time's over, right? It's not like a game where you can just go from stage to stage, a mission to mission, and just keep progressively, right? Like you're gonna be playing that game for a good 2 to 3 hours. And honestly, that's it. Like I like Rockstar. I mean, for some people, the aim system might be a little difficult. The weird body mechanics as you walk and move, that one might get some people. But I mean, if you like Rockstar, um, there's no reason you shouldn't have gotten this game and at least try it out. It was, like I said, it's a flawless game. It really is. And if I had beaten it, I probably would have made it my game of the year. Unfortunately, I didn't. So it's not my game of the year. Sorry, Tommy. What else did you say, buddy? For PS4, I hope though understands. Oh, so yeah, so Tommy, the new Grand Theft Auto is only going to be on the new generations. So you have to have a PS5 to play it or the new Xbox. You won't be able to play it on your PS4, sadly. They made that very clear. There's going to be next console generation only. And you'd like to see it play. Aw, I wonder if I could on my phone. I know I can stream Twitch on my phone, but I wonder how it would work. I'll look that up one day and see if that's possible to do Pokemon Go. Um, so my next one I'm gonna throw in there just because I wanted to talk about it and get rid of it already. It was Breath of the Wild. So I got my Switch. Cheyenne got me Breath of the Wild because it was the one game I wanted to try so bad. Because it was so hyped up, right? Like this game was talked about to the same level that Ocarina of Time was talked about. So it's like, this is gonna be good. Like this is gonna be a banger of a game, right? And it wasn't. It was such a letdown. And it's weird because I started off like really liking it. Like I was like, damn, Breath of the Wild is a beautiful game. And I don't think it's the Switch. I don't think the Switch is the problem. I know a lot of people go like, "Oh, it's because it's on the Switch. That's why I didn't want to play it." It's like, no, like I like Game Boy. I don't have an issue with that. I don't mind handheld games. I think it was just that it wasn't the normal Zelda style. It was just such a big, huge world that I was like, I don't even know where to go, and like what I want to do. And I think I started to get used to it, and then someone told me like, oh, you haven't even passed the plateau. That's not even the real like world yet. And I was like, are you joking? Like, I felt like I've just done so much already. I can't believe I'm not even in the real world. And yeah, so once I got to that point, I kind of fell off. I mean, a part of me wants to go back and just see like what else I could do. I was doing a lot of those little shrines. So it seems like they scrapped the dungeon idea and now they've gone to shrines. Um, I can't remember if they even did anything. I'm trying to think if I got any kind of like benefit from them. I don't think I got new power ups or like that. So I really can't. Yeah, I really can't remember what you got for shrines. Um, And I didn't fight any of the legendary beasts yet, so maybe that'll make it a little more exciting. I can't really say. But so far, my opinion of Breath of the Wild is pretty meh. The weapon thing, too, like, Nintendo, don't ever do that again. Like, I know you probably did it for the next Legend of Zelda because you're idiots. Um, but just let that go. I hate like, I don't want real life weapons. You know what I mean? I want video game fantasy weapons that last forever. I never have to repair them. I hated Bethesda games, but I accept it because it's an RPG. But Zelda game, get that the fuck out of there. You know what I mean? Just give us some normal sword, shield, and that's it. Like, um, I, I, I think I know who you're talking about. Oh, I know it's one of the villages that character's in. But yeah, all Zelda people are very sexualized, Tommy. I don't know if you remember the N64 ones. The Ocarina of Time, there was what do you call it? The Great Fairies. They were like very like um what do you call it? Scandalous for their dresses and stuff like that. So, Zelda's, I mean, Legend of Zelda is such a weird like sexual game for a kids game. It's very odd. um, but all the guys are always like beefy and covered up. Weird. Um, let's see. Okay, so we did the Switch. Um, yeah, exactly. You know, trying to think, is anything else I played for the Xbox? Oh, oh! I know. Oh, good catch, Tommy. I did play Agents of Mayhem on the Xbox. Now, Agents of Mayhem on the Xbox is great. Agents of Mayhem on the PS4 is hot trash. Don't even play it. It'll ruin the experience for you. If you're gonna play this game, play on Xbox only. Um, Definitely, like I said, got a lot more heat than it deserved. It is a really good experience for what it's supposed to be. So it's supposed to be a Saturday morning cartoon. It delivers. I had a fantastic experience with it. Um, Absolutely blew me away. I thought the story, the dialogues, all that was really unique. It was a damn good time. It was a damn good time. Um, Is it everyone's cup of tea? Is it going to be winning awards? No, definitely not. But it was definitely wasn't the trash fire that people made out to seem. Agents of Mayhem, I think, did a damn good job for what it was trying to be as far as a video game. Now the other side of the fence, I did play Cyberpunk, and I guess to be fair, I only played like 3 hours, but I wasn't enjoying it. It was not my cup of tea. I definitely was not digging the whole world that they were building. I hated all the gosh, sorry guys, keep yawning. I hated all the cinema scenes. Yeah, sorry, cutscenes that they kept having. I just found like it was too much, too heavy in that stuff. Which, speaking of which, leads to my next one. Yukaza, Yukaza. I know I probably said it wrong. Sorry, Jimmy. um, but I played Zero as of Jimmy's request, and again, it's very very hard because I want to just give like spewing out um my thoughts in that game. But I promised Jimmy I'd hold it until we do our podcast together. So I'm just gonna give you the cliff notes of it all. So basically, this is the definition of what Sega is capable of doing. It was such a fantastic arcade style, story driven wacky video game. It's everything that Sega represents in a game. And I think they did a fantastic job making it. My gripe with the game was that there was too much story, but I think that day I just wanted to play a video game so bad. I was just getting so annoyed that like there was just scene after scene. I wanted to play something. Like I wanted to physically play something. But as time progressed, almost like a bad fight, where someone says that insult and you just kind of brew it in the back of your head, this game brewed in the back of my head. And I started to get more and more respect for it. I started to crave those scenes again and see what happened. I wanted to know, where my character was going to go now in his story progression. Sorry. Um, I really got into it more than I expected. And yeah, like again, I think if I had more time and I would have played that game in January and ended up beating it, this could have been another one that could have been my game of the year. No word of a lie. It's just a really interesting story, and it's just done by one of my favorite gaming studios, which is Sega. I just yeah they did a perfect job, like just hands down. Like Rockstar did Red Dead 2, this was their Red Dead 2, and Sega owned it and just it made it so good. Sorry, Tommy, had a few more shout outs there. I love when people try hard for views calling Elden Ring trash. I want to play Elden Ring still. I want to know what that world's like. Look up Yukaza versus Tony Gang on The Simpsons sometimes. It's funny. Oh, okay, I'll have to check that one out. Um, let's see. What else do we got? I guess we go to PlayStation 4. Because I can't think of any Xbox games I played other than that. I played Vampire Survivors. Obviously, I played Fortnite and stuff like that. But I'm not going to shout those ones out because they're just, you know what I mean? They're just games you play for fun. Pokemon Quest, I did. Pokemon Unite, I did. I had fun with all of them. Battlefield 5. But, you know what I mean? Like, they're not my games of the year. I don't consider those games of the year. I need like a single player experience to be my game of the year. Um, or even a game that I'm gonna hype up and convince people to play. I mean, if you're gonna play Fortnite, you're gonna play Fortnite at this point. You know what I mean? There's nothing I'm gonna say is gonna change your opinion on that. Um, oh yeah, no, she has been, Tommy. Zelda's been very very busy. It's nothing like personal or anything like that. It's just she's just really busy with home life. I mean, it makes sense, right? Think of how Zelda is. Baking and cooking and doing all that stuff. And then you add Christmas into the mix. I'm sure she has like 100 people she has to bake things for, and plus all her little minions that she looks after. It must be one hell of a time for her because she hasn't even got back to me yet with the awards yet and stuff like that for making them. So I know she's really jam packed with things to do. Um, yeah, so PlayStation side, uh, I played God of War. So again, gonna get a lot of hate. Um, but I didn't enjoy God of War as much as everyone else did. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a fun game. I didn't beat it yet either, but like I am enjoying my experience in it. But it's not something that I feel should have got all the hype it did. I also feel the same way about The Last of Us. Sorry, but it's. I feel like I'm probably gonna finish that one pretty soon. if I was to just sit down and grind with it, which kind of sucks because I felt like that one should have been a little bit longer of an experience, but I don't know, maybe it wasn't meant to be. But again, like I don't know, it's good when stuff happens, but the in between like gameplay, the character development, again, that's nice too. Like it does do a nice touch. I'm not gonna pretend like I don't enjoy those moments. Um, but just the all over gameplay just feels kind of boring at times, and I don't know. For me, I just I don't see I don't get it yet. I guess why that game got hyped up as much as it did. Hey JW, The Last of Us. No, because I still have to finish it. I'm just talking about like all the games that were like contenders for my game of the year and stuff I played. Um, yeah, and then actually, funny enough, you came on. Horizon Zero Dawn. That one was really good. I ended up going down to the base level of my PlayStation subscription, so I did lose that game. So I'll just whatever. I'll end up buying it. I know I've seen it at my game store that I go to, so I'll pick that one up. But that game was really good. That one, uh, I think it was maybe just you, JW, and a select others that kind of shouted it out. As we had conversations about video games, but that one I felt deserved a lot more praise. Um, it's
Yeah, I agree. Every time that game came out, I mean, this one and its sequel came out just around the worst possible time. Like that first Horizon came out around the same time as Zelda Breath of the Wild came out, and uh, that sequel then came out around the same time as Elden Ring. So it kept being pushed to around this.
yeah. That's man, playing Breath of the Wild too, it's just like I can't believe that game got more attention than this one. That's a real shame actually. um
Game.
yeah, because I was gonna say, like I know people talk about The Last of Us. Like, don't get me wrong, okay, the relationship is really good in that game. They do little parts right that add to it, but I actually kind of felt more invested in Horizon's characters than I definitely did in The Last of Us. Um, yeah, like
Well, the
right.
world of Horizon is way more interesting and fun, and the gameplay is, well, they're not the same. They're not very comparable, but I find the gameplay loop is better as well.
Yeah,
The thing is, I think people for The Last of Us, I think people like remember specifically the ending of that game. Or anyway, I do, but I have a hard time remembering the rest of the game. Like the last third of the game is the best part of the whole game, I think, and that's why people remember it so much.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I actually had like your voice there in my head when I was playing it, right? Because I remember asking you to kind of give me like an idea of what the rest of the game was. I knew what the ending was because the ending always gets hyped up, right? But no one ever talked about the whole part of the game before that. And I remember you saying like, yeah, it's a little stale. Like, there's not too much to stick out to you, and that's so true. Like, there are a few select scenes. Obviously the very beginning's kind of neat, and as you progress, like some of the people that pass away, those are kind of memorable. But yeah, you're right. There's just a lot of that game is just okay. Like you're playing it, it's all right, but it's nothing that you're gonna hype up later on, right? When you're talking about your recap of that experience.
Yeah, but
Um,
it's very well written, and I think that's why it kept on.
yeah. Honestly, that's what's doing it for me. It's just the subtle little dialogues between the characters. To just watching them, well, especially Ellie, watching her kind of grow up throughout this whole experience. I find that really interesting.
Well, it's also why I prefer the sequel, I think, because the sequel all the way through, I didn't know where exactly it was going, and it was interesting to do uh, to play through multiple of these parts. I won't say anything because there's a lot that can be said there, but yeah, I prefer the second one. I think the narrative is much more all over the place, but it made it way more interesting.
Yeah, I'd say I'm definitely excited to play the second one because that one, yeah, there seems to be a lot of like little parts that I've heard, through conversation, whether it's you and pizza or where it's on the Super Show or wherever. Um, there's a lot. There's a lot to that game. It seems, and I'm excited to see like what happens with those characters, like you guys are talking about. Obviously, I know some of the big things that take place, and that's whatever. I don't care. I'm just kind of excited to see the whole like experience as you go through it with Ellie and the other characters that are involved.
Well,
Um,
you'll either hate it or love it. So
sorry, Tommy. You said like the OG God of War series gameplay wise, and also the OG Devil May Cry series. Though the Devil May Cry reboot. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's referring to God of War. I was just saying how the new God of War didn't capture me as much as it did everyone else. Like it was cool. It was a cool. But yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like even on the Super Show, right? Like Chris hypes it up and he's like, "Oh yeah, the father and son relationship are so good." I'm like, "Okay, like maybe it is getting better." It's like, "No, I don't find it that
Chris is
investing."
a new dad, so he related.
True. Yeah, that's true. Maybe that way, yeah. Shash Jimmy Vets.
Nice, but gameplay wise, I always thought it was frustrating to play. Like it would be fun for a while, but I always get frustrated in some way at some point. I've never been extremely fan of how they remade the God of War game, especially that all the enemies were pretty similar in that first one.
Yeah, I don't think I was really doing any like special combos or anything. Like once you found your groove, like that was pretty much the same buttons I used for every boss.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. There were multiple moves that you could do or combos and all that, but none of them. I never felt compelled to use them compared to, let's say, Devil May Cry, where it's always fun to do a bunch of different stuff. Never in these new God of War where I felt it was necessary or wanted to. It was either more of a hassle in terms of what to do with the buttons, or it was automatic moves like the axe, spinning around you and stuff
Yep.
like that, where it doesn't feel like you're doing the move. It feels more like it's doing it itself. But anyway,
Yeah, no, I felt the same way with that one. And then Tommy was just adding on too. He says, as far as The Last of Us One, uh, oops, sorry, Tommy, kind of bounced up there. First game, uh, best played on hardest difficulty. As far as story was great, not a masterpiece, but great. Yeah, you're right, Tommy. If I did play on a harder difficulty, I would find it a different experience. I don't know. Um, yeah,
well, even gameplay wise, the second one I find is much better and interesting in how they've sort of revamped this system that is still basically being used in every AAA games.
um, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, like I said, Horizon was a good experience. I am excited to purchase that one and finish that one up as well and go through that whole world. The other was Bloodborne that I ended up playing, which I said in the beginning, like I wanted to play it just because I was so frustrated that I was sucking so bad in it. Like it was a very different experience from Dark Souls, even though it was the same idea. It
Yeah.
just I don't know. I guess Bloodborne was more fast paced than the Dark Souls was. Maybe that was throwing me off. But once I finally got into that rhythm, I had that one YouTube stream where I literally didn't die until I made it all the way to the boss. That I think that's when it clicked. That's when everything changed, and I, I already loved the world. I already loved the atmosphere that it was creating, and then I started to love the gameplay. I started to love the combat. Yeah, it really changed my mind around. Um, but I'm just excited to actually jump back into that world. I had a really good time with it. The first two bosses that I ended up defeating, it was that successful surge going through your body, right? Like, I did it finally. Um, yeah, I don't know. I can't say anything else. It was a good experience. I love that atmosphere so much. That horror setting was just perfect. Um, I did end up playing Spider Man, so that was a miss. I'll have to try that one soon to give it back to Gabby. Um, Dark Souls, make people be surprised. Even though I did enjoy it a lot, and I've talked about it not way too often now. It's definitely still not the game of the year for me. Um, Only because uh, I didn't want to label that as game of the year. Um, because even though it had a lot of things that surprised me and a lot of things I've already talked about in the past, like how the map is more connected, how it's not as difficult as some people think, etc., etc. It's the grindy aspect to it. It's still a game where
Yeah.
where you're gonna jump into it and you're gonna be playing this for 2 to 3 hours. The same kind of reason I don't think Red Dead 2 I would label as my game of the year, right? Like this is not a game you're gonna be able to jump into, play for an hour and make progress. That's not gonna happen. You'll just make that little bar of success, jump up a sliver of time if you're only doing an hour. So yeah, because of that,
So,
I
what is your game of the year then?
um, let's see. Did I touch on all the ones I wanted to at least? Yeah. Sorry. Okay, Resident Evil was the other one I was just gonna say. That one really shocked me too, and that one I was so close to picking it as well. Um, because yeah, going from 7 that I played last year, and then I played 4 this year, and 4 was really good. I did enjoy 4 a lot. I remember I played it when I was in high school. And now going back to it, it was still a good experience, but the first Resident Evil just kind of blew me away, which is, I guess, how much thought was put into it. I like the fact that even that very first part, you could either take one route where you talk to Barry and you just progress the game, or you take another route where you can find the shotgun and Barry helps you not become a Jill sandwich, as he puts it. um, and then there was like a third route you could take, and again, it was like a different dialogue altogether. Um,
Yeah.
Even there was another part where I think there's like a hallway, and if you go down one side, the dogs burst through the windows. If you go through the other side the first time around, the windows just kind of crack and nothing happens. So there was a lot of, like, I don't know, little things like that that I was like, for a PlayStation 1 game that this was, or even a GameCube game that was the remake, um, there was a lot of work put into this, and yeah, I was really blown away.
For sure. I mean, you can see why it became this sensational game that has persisted over the years. That people keep go back and saying it was revolutionary when it came out.
Yeah, yeah, like this. Yeah, it was one of those games where I was like, damn, I missed out not playing this when it first launched. Um, yeah, and yes, I played Fallout 76. I ended up trying that one, and it was what I expected. But in the same breath, like I said, when you play with friends, it's a little bit better. But I'm
Any game is better with friends.
exactly. I said that's why I would never say Fortnite or Call of Duty or Apex or anything like that as my game of the year, right? Because those games are just a dime a dozen at this point. Um, yeah, yeah. I think he's taking all the games. So, oh, no worries, Tommy. You have a great night, buddy. Um, my game of the year, as odd as it may sound, I thought about it, and I guess I'm going through it. For once, I'm not going to base it on story, oddly enough, because it is a very impactful story. But for me, I was basing it on, like, is this a game that I can play for a long time, enjoy, find new things in? Is it going to give me that kind of experience? And for me, it was Fallout 4. And the reason why was, again, this was another game that I started playing with like a negative mindset. So I really enjoyed Fallout 3. I didn't enjoy New Vegas as much as enjoyed Fallout 3. Um, and like when I say I enjoyed Fallout 3, like I became obsessed with it the same way I was with Oblivion, right? Like I put 400 to 500 hours in Fallout 3. I made sure I could explore everything that was available in that game. I went all out. So Fallout 4, I was kind of turned off because like, there's base building, there's this, there's that, right? But again, I sat down one night when I had a different, I guess, mindset. I was like, okay, I want to play this. I want to try it out. I want to give it a fair shot. Still didn't really like it. Um, but I progressed through it, and I'd say probably 2 hours into it, my entire mindset changed. There's nothing that the game did. I just got involved in that world. I got engaged with the quests. I got interested in the base building, and I just, slowly, I tried out every kind of feature that game had to offer. I still haven't beat it. I haven't got all the way to the end yet, but it's also because I'm just looking at the wastelands. But yeah, it was. I think they did a fantastic job going from 3 to 4. Again, the story is nothing. Like the story is exactly what you expect from a
Well, it
Bethesda.
never is with Bethesda games.
Yeah, right. But it's that gameplay. I love all the legendary bosses that they included in there. I like how ridiculous some of them are. Like the Queen Mylurk, that's like literally the size of a castle. Like it's just stupid, but it was so much fun to take that down. Um, I like the odd, stupid quests that you could do in those games. Um, I like the characters, like I love it when you go into a bar and the bar is run by a ghoul or something ridiculous. It's just, yeah, I don't know. And then the base building itself, you can go all out, you can make them fancy, or you can be lazy like me and just pick the presets. And it was kind of fun, just like making the perfect base and then leaving it alone, and seeing how successful it manages itself, or getting like a shitty piece of land and trying to build an entire base in that land, and it's just it gets out of control. Example, I think I had one that was just like this little drive-in theater you end up collecting, and I didn't have enough to build houses, and I had to make more beds. So I put the beds, where the big projection screen would be. There were just all these like little beds lined up. But it was just, I don't know, it was stupid. It was fun. It was exactly what I wanted from Fallout. I went back in there a couple nights ago. I tried out Fallen Order one more time. I tried out Fallout 4, and I tried out Red Dead 2 this past week just to see which one was going to take the spot for me. And yeah, I loved Fallout. I was happy to go back into it, and I caught on quickly with everything I did, or everything I was at. Sorry. And plus, I really do like Bethesda as much as they screw up a lot. I just I think for me it was more nostalgia. Ever since Morrowind, I've just been in love with that company, and I keep getting excited by each new RPG they launch, because it's, to me, like that's the kind of RPG I like doing. Right, I like leveling up. I like almost doing the Dungeons and Dragons, I guess, style of an RPG. But yeah, so that was mine. Mine was definitely Fallout 4. You missed it earlier, JW, but Jimmy's, of course, was Resident Evil 4, and
Yeah,
Marie's was RimWorld, no surprise, which I was excited. I can actually try
yeah.
that game. I didn't realize it was on console. I thought it was PC only.
Oh, I
Uh,
thought it was PC only as well.
yeah, I know it's on PS4 and Xbox One. Apparently, there was a special edition for consoles. Um, and then Lazy Geek, I don't know what his name is now. I always forget to ask him. He's in the Discord for the Super Show, but I always have him on Twitter that I usually talk to him on. But his was Dead Island 2. That was his game of the year. Uh, Dead Space was his runner up. Um, Extinction something, I can't remember what it is now. The third one was Spider-Man 2. They ended up picking. I have to see what that one is though, because I never heard the game that he ended up talking about. Oh, here it is. Okay, Endling. Extinction is forever.
Extinction is forever.
Yeah, Like the picture is it's a nice little art style. It's a fox family. It looks like, and they're crossing a log between two different
Oh,
planes.
right.
I never heard of that one, so that one kind of caught my eye. I was like, oh, I like the artwork.
Yeah, I've heard of it. It's a one of those indie games.
I kind of figured, yeah. I was like, based on the style, it looks like it. But yeah, that was my long ramble, and everyone else's. JW, please tell me what was your game of the year? What were some games that you think were worth shouting out for this year?
Well, I'll say two of them. Like I'll say the objectively speaking one is definitely Baldur's Gate 3 because just on every front they've delivered, on they've made it's not a style of game that usually people get into, that sort of turn-based strategy type of thing.
Yeah,
And somehow it has found a way to make it super accessible for everyone to not only use it but to like playing it through it, while also having a very very compelling, a very good plot and great characters, great companions to have,
yeah.
and so like the music is great as well. Like there's nothing really to say bad about it, except maybe there are a lot of bugs I find,
Oh, he did find some bugs in it.
especially. Sorry, what?
I said, oh, there was some bugs in the game. I was curious 'cause I haven't heard anything mentioned yet.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, some people say it's perfect and there's not any, but no, they are definitely wrong. Especially that every update they do, they seem to fix some stuff and break other stuff.
Oh, okay.
So you know, so yeah, that's its biggest problem. There are crashes, companions that stop following you, or that bunch of stuff where you would need to reload a save that is previous, maybe lost a couple of hours of gameplay to then redo the stuff. And so there's a bunch of stuff like that that happens that is not fun. That right now it could be fixed with the new patches and all that, but what is to say that there's not something else in the game that has broken with that? Because it keeps doing that, right? Or the on PlayStation 5, I should say. I haven't played the PC version, but on PlayStation 5, there's this also weird. It's like sometimes some textures have trouble loading in. So you'll talk
Oh,
to someone and their eyebrows will be all blurry and stretched on the face or a tattoo or whatever, and it's bizarre. So there's a bunch of issues, but none of them were enough, I think, to deter from having fun in the game, having fun with it, and you can the possibility of all the things you can do is really good because it's not only a possibility in terms of choices because you talk to people, you have choices and all that, but it's also in terms of gameplay where before talking to someone, if you do X, Y, and Z, it will change the outcome of when you talk to that person and stuff like that. So there's a lot of branching narratives and emerging gameplay type of thing that can be done, which is very nice.
that's cool. Yeah, yeah. I said it's kind of, I don't
So
know,
that
kind of. No,
sorry,
it's
what?
kind of what I was gonna say, kind of what I expected. Yeah, with Baldur's Gate 3, just based on like everyone's feedback from it.
Yeah, well, like if it wins or when probably it
Yeah.
wins the game awards, I wouldn't be surprised and wouldn't be mad about it because they definitely deserve it. Plus, it's a full game, hundreds of hours of playthrough, and no DLC. all complete content, and when they've even changed and added some stuff in the game for free.
That's awesome. Wow.
So yeah, I'm all about that as well. So objectively speaking, that will be the one. But of course, my game of the year probably my favorite game was Alan Wake 2 this year. Big fan of Remedy games in general, but like they really did. Narratively speaking, it's all about the narrative in this case. I would have to disclose, because narratively speaking, they've done this like multi-layer sort of narrative. There's a lot of meta stuff, and in multiple ways where they tell the story through music. Like every song that plays in this game has been made specifically for the game, and in various different styles. There are rock, there's pop, there's all sorts of style, and
Oh, cool.
these songs all have lyrics, and they all match in that moment what is happening in the game, or what is to come, and all that. The that it makes sense in the grand scheme of things, but it's like it's not just a gimmick. It has a purpose in the narrative, and also having the cutscenes in with the 3D models and all that. Um, it's a bit of an Inception type of narrative where you have multiple layers to look into.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, every time
And
someone talks about this game, I think I've understood it. And then just now, when you said there's multiple like musical parts, I was like, holy shit. Okay, it's not what I'm thinking about. I thought there was just like this one musical scene that everyone was laughing at. I didn't realize there was more than one. God damn.
well, there's one musical and literal musical where you walk around and see people dancing and singing
Oh,
what happened in the first game. But I'm also talking about the songs that plays in the background or on the radio, that you
oh, okay,
can
okay.
you can if you listen to the lyrics, they all connect with the rest of the world in the game, which is
Very
awesome.
cool.
And
Yeah.
so there's no, like they say, lunar dissonance, I think it's called, where the gameplay doesn't reflect the story. Now everything just works well together and mixing together and all that. And it's a very nice follow up to the first game, narratively speaking. And because it's like it's been 13 years, I think, since the last game, and they decided to reflect that in the narrative as well. So there's uh, I don't want to say too much actually, but it's
No, no.
certainly awesome, and there's so many layers to this that was nice to unveil. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure at the end, like it ended, and at first I was a bit frustrated because it ends a bit on a cliffhanger of some kind. I say of
And
some
like,
kind because it's not exactly a cliffhanger, but it feels a bit like that. And but thinking back on it, like a day after I finished it, I thought back on it. It makes sense and is a very nice ending for what they have presented in the end.
I mean, like in
And
that
so I've
company.
been talking. Sorry, what?
Oh, I was just saying that company too. Like they can make a number three, right? Like if the story was going to progress, there is a possibility for a number three, or like the company will be interested in making number three. Like did they make any comments like that?
Or, I don't know about a number three, but there are DLC for it coming,
Oh, okay.
and there some of their IPs are connected to the same universe. For example, the Control game is in the same universe as Alan Wake. You see the the Control Bureau in Alan Wake 2 trying to figure out what is happening in the game.
Oh, okay.
And I think Max Payne as well will be connected because they're remaking their Max Payne games, and I think they'll find a way to probably connect them.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I love to see how Max Payne would connect to that.
Yeah, and I mean now I've all talked about narrative. Gameplay wise, it's pretty much exactly the same as Resident Evil Remake 2.
Okay.
So camera to shoulder, you find keys, uh, you survival horror type of thing. The only added thing is that you need to use your flashlight to take off the sort of darkness shield around the enemies, and then you can shoot them. And so I mean, so gameplay wise, it's nothing new or special, but it works well for what it does. And so I have fun with this gameplay. So if you didn't like that type of gameplay, then you would hate this game.
Like I said, I definitely enjoyed the first Alan Wake. Like I wasn't looking forward to Alan Wake 2 really like that. I wasn't like, counting down the days. But now, like I said, like over time, just hearing everyone talk about the game, like it's definitely on my next year's list of games I want to buy and play through. Because yeah, like I said, every time I hear more about this game, it's like my idea of what I think it might be just changes a little bit each time, and I kind of like that. I kind of like that this game is gonna be something I'm gonna be unexpected, right? Of what I'm gonna go through each level or however it breaks down.
Well, it's certainly very special, and I'm glad
Yeah.
they could do whatever they wanted with it. Because I heard that basically Epic, they're being published, I think, by Epic Games, and I think they said that Epic Games basically told them to do whatever they want, and I think it shows
Wow.
that they could do whatever they want.
That's awesome. Wow. um, I know earlier I was just mentioning that previous years, I usually always stuck with Gems of War, and I didn't play a lot of other games for like a long time, right? So that's why there's a lot of catching up to do. But this year was like a year where I dived in and I played three different consoles, right? And I had a bunch of different games to play through them. But the reason why I bring this all up is because I feel like JW, you played through quite a few games this year too. So I am a little curious, were there any games that kind of stuck out to you that you wanted to shout out? I'm assuming like example Final Fantasy, the new one that came out there, 16 was it? That was
Yeah.
probably one that you would definitely recommend. Was there any other games you played throughout this year that you thought were worth it?
Uh, hmm. It's hard to think back. I'm trying to think back. Because it's been a weird year. Because I could shout out how Forspoken was bad.
Yeah, I remember
I
that.
I was one of the only one who bought it. Because I actually liked the demo and thought, if the demo, if it's similar to the demo, it would be good. But I didn't take into account how terrible the writing of Forspoken was, and also how they've just repeated everything in terms of levels all over the map and make it bigger and just a bunch of random stuff,
I think
random challenges. And like they literally copy pasted stuff and they just, change color, but it's the same thing. And
I guess that
so
was a
that
full
was
price
pretty
game
terrible.
too, eh?
What?
I said that was probably a full price game too when it came out, right? I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Well, also, I tried most of the time to give a chance to new IPs because I think that I find there's not enough of them. So
Sure.
I like to give a chance to a new IP, a new series, and certainly got burned on that one. But yeah, no, my two main one would have probably been Final Fantasy 16 and Alan Wake 2. Beside also Baldur's Gate 3, I guess. I'm trying to, because I didn't play Starfield because I knew I would probably hate it. I didn't play Resident Evil 4 Remake because I thought it would be an easy gift for Christmas or birthday or something.
Oh yeah, good point.
And so there's a bunch of games like this where I need to take a list out of what came out actually.
No problem. We're talking about our
Uh,
favorite games of the year, Z-Chick, that we've played, and what would be our game of the year. So it's anything you play this year. It doesn't matter if the game's 20 years old or just came out this year. It was whatever game you played this year specifically that you think deserves that title. I was gonna say going.
oh yeah, there was Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, you played that one, JW?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, nice.
And it was pretty cool. It was fun, and it was well made. I mean, it's one of those games where they present you fake choices, so you have a couple of choices, but it doesn't really change that much the story.
Oh, okay.
But otherwise, the combat was pretty fun. The narrative was okay, and characters as well, I guess. I have a hard time remembering the narrative actually, so it must have not have been that great. But the gameplay in open world was pretty fun.
I wonder if they'll have DLC
And
for that one because it seemed to do pretty well sales wise.
yeah, I don't think there's DLC for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was one, exclusive. It's shit, but one exclusive quest for PlayStation users where
Oh,
you
okay.
can buy the DLC for it if you didn't pre-order the game.
Oh, okay. I do remember back in January, right? You and Jimmy, I think were the two I know that played. Was it the Callisto Protocol? I know I'm gonna screw up saying that.
Yes, the Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
That, that was last year's December, though.
Was it December? Or was it January? I thought it was January that came out. My bad.
Well, I think I played it in January, but it came out in December. But yeah, no, that was one that I really liked actually. That I didn't get why people were hating on it so much or thought it was hard to understand the controls or whatever. It was pretty easy in terms of understanding how the control work and pretty visceral. I really like that way of that combat system and all that. So
Oh, okay.
the horror as well was nice. No, I really liked it. It shouldn't have had all the hate that it got. It was a bit short though.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that was you both said that it was a little bit short. Yeah, shit, I really missed out too. I just realized that was the free game in October. Shit, for PlayStation users.
I'm sure it will go on sale since everybody hated it.
Yeah, I definitely want to try it out because I like the Dead Space world, and I know you guys said the combat was somewhat similar, so I'm excited.
Oh, it's quite different though.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Like, I mean, there are some similarities, but um, it's way more about repeatedly hitting the monster until it's just pulp instead of shooting and dismembering.
Oh, okay. Um,
So I mean, it looks similar when you look at videos, but it definitely plays different because you do that, and while doing so, you have to look at the enemy and see how the enemy will attack to dodge it while you attack and all that, attack in the right moment.
yeah. Yeah, I definitely have to pick up that one. I need to try it out. I said I liked it when I saw it like earlier in the year. Some trailers for it. Just yeah, I know when it came in on PlayStation. There, I checked it out one more time, and it definitely looks like my kind of game. I'm excited to try it. Um,
Oh, I definitely recommend it, especially if it's not too pricey.
yeah, I'm pretty sure even like full price right now. I want to say it was around 40. So yeah, you're right. It shouldn't be too much. Um, Hey Django, just gonna give you a quick little shout to say, if you wanted to, buddy, you're more than welcome to shout out any game this year that you played that you thought was, your game of the year. Um, doesn't matter what year it came out. It's just as long as you play it this year, by all means, you can shout one out. And then same with you, Z-Chick, if there was any that you liked that you wanted to do a shout out for. Um, Yeah, I don't think there was any of the games I remember that you brought up. So those were your main ones then, eh, JW?
Yeah, because I've been looking at a couple, and there's a couple of them where I opted for waiting for a sale. Like Atomic Heart is one that I played the demo and really liked it, but wanted to wait for a sale and not paying it full price.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Atomic Heart. That would look like a good one too, actually.
Yeah, well, from what the demo was fun.
Yeah.
Um, but it depends also if uh, I think it was oh, someone was telling me that they couldn't play the game because they live close to the whole Russia thing. So maybe
Oh
if you're sensitive on that, I'll not play the Atomic Heart.
yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah. And Django, yours is Skyrim. I could understand that. I said I played Skyrim this year. Compared to previous years. I think doing the whole thing for YouTube really got me into it because it forced me like every Wednesday to sit down and play that game. And yeah, I started to end up appreciating it a little bit more this time around than I have previous playthroughs. I might actually beat Skyrim this year. Well, this year coming up, I guess.
Skyrim doesn't count. It came out like 20 years ago.
It does count, like I said, as long as you played it this year. It doesn't matter how old the game is. Skyrim VR.
It's not because it gets re-released that it's new.
Speaking of that whole like world, I forgot to bring up. I'm really excited to see that Fallout series that's gonna come out.
Yeah, it looks good. Like I really wasn't expecting it to look this good. Actually,
Same, yeah. I was like, wow, that actually. It's so dumb too.
the only thing is the CGI sometimes looked a bit iffy, but otherwise it looked like a good show. Plus,
Yeah,
I think it's hard to mess up. I don't think you can mess up Fallout really, because you don't really have a main story or lore
yeah,
to
exactly.
follow per se. You can make all sorts of stories with it. So it's if they fuck that up, I mean they really have incompetent people. I think.
No kidding. Yeah, like I was gonna say some of the complaints I see were so stupid. Like obviously one is that people got pissed off it was a girl, right? And then another one was they were
Oh yeah,
yeah,
why?
I don't know. Like I mean that part kind of confused me, and I noticed a lot of people felt the same way as me. They'd make comments going, like you could pick either one. Like when you make your character creation, it's not like Fallout's just a guy, unless they're basing it on like all the trailers. But I mean, I don't know. That's stupid. Um,
Maybe they thought Pit Boy was the main character.
Maybe, yeah. Who knows these crazy movies? And then the other one people got upset about was the fact that there was a Cyclops, and there's no Cyclops in Fallout. It's like, how do you know? Like,
I have to say, it did weird me out a bit.
did it?
Like,
Oh,
but like, I wasn't like, oh crap, they put the Cyclops. I'm not watching this. It was more like, that's a bit weird. Why would they do that? It wasn't like I don't know. It it wasn't a plus. Let's say when I saw the Cyclops, but I'm really ready to give it a try, anyways. And
what I was thinking of though?
uh,
I thought maybe it was gonna be like a Futurama thing. Like, maybe that was gonna be the mutation that happened from all the radiation. Like how Leela's family, because that was like the only like logical thing
yeah.
I could jump to, right? I was like, this must be the reason.
Plus, well, another thing actually I wasn't sure is actually was when there was a guy in a power armor being beaten by a bear.
Oh
It
yeah,
was like a power armor with a bear be nothing for you.
yeah, that didn't make a lot of sense either. I was like, I was like, it should be a lot stronger than that. The armor.
But otherwise, it was a really cool trailer, and yeah, I was surprised. I got actually hyped for it. So.
Yeah, yeah. I hope that turns out really good. I'm looking forward to watching that one. Hey, Z Chick.
Hola, amigos. What's up?
Not much. How about you?
Just guys and figured I'd hop in and say hello.
Hello. Well, I will say
Hi.
that Tommy was saying earlier that he missed you. He's like, "Is Z Chick busy this month or what?" I was like, "Hell yeah, my dude! It's Christmas time. She's probably baking up a storm right now."
Oh my god. Literally before I hopped in, I was just cutting out these little like paper elves. I took pictures of all the kids at daycare, right?
Oh,
And I like made their heads really big. So they're gonna be like big headed little mini elves. Oh my god, it's gonna be so cute. So I'm gonna laminate those tomorrow. So that's what I was doing for like the last hour.
oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's like a little Christmas present, added for the parents.
Yeah, no, that's adorable.
Yeah, their heads are so big though. I'm just like, oh my god, because that's what waddlers look like. They're like, walking babies with big heads, pretty much. They look like
That's
little
true.
bobbleheads,
That's very true.
right? So I'm like, you get your very own little bobblehead.
So
I have issues, but
what
I had to do it.
I say, what about you, Z Chick? I know you and me, I think, are in the same boat. We played a lot of different games this year. So what got Z's top
Oh
pick?
my goodness. Um, okay, well, aside from Skyrim, because always I played Skyrim VR for the first time, and it was absolutely amazing. Um,
You
so
didn't
I
get
can't.
sick?
I did actually. Like 45 minutes into it, I was like, I'm really dizzy and I feel like I'm gonna puke.
Yeah,
So
same thing happened to me when I played the No Man's Sky in VR.
yeah, I felt like I was walking sideways for part of it. Like especially in that intro part where like you're in the carriage, like I'm standing, but in the game I'm supposed to be sitting, so I was just like all fucked up balance wise. So
Oh wow.
I don't know. Yeah, it was weird. It
I
was really
think these
crazy.
games weren't made for VR, and so it's when you play them in VR, it's like
Yeah, the whole
yeah, like it's impossible. I think to play No Man's Sky in VR. Like you just do one jump, and you get sick afterwards.
yeah, so I like games that you can play that like Beat Saber. I like playing that in VR. I mean, it's a VR game. So that's really fun. What other game I tried? Tomb Raider in VR. That one made me sick.
Wow.
That one made me sick. It was more like just playing it on a big movie screen on a headset, if that makes any sense. I wasn't like some like immersive like the Skyrim VR. Like Skyrim VR, I could like turn all the way around. I was in it.
Okay.
It was so cool.
That's cool. I didn't know they made
But
a
like
Tomb
when I
Raider
played
one.
Tomb Raider, I just like yeah, it's just like a little like side thing.
Oh.
Like so it's not like you can play the whole game in VR, but there's like a little like I don't know, added backstory type of thing that you can go in and do with VR.
That's
So
I
that was
didn't even
okay.
cool.
know they made a Tomb Raider VR.
Yeah, that's a
I think it's just for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I think it's just one of, like, if you go into set, I'd have to look for it. It's one of the Tomb Raiders because I
So
hopped
the
in there and I
second
was like,
one.
whoa, yeah. But it's just like a little tiny thing. It's
Yeah.
not much. I think it's when you're like going back to the house or like memories or whatever
That's-
type of thing. You can
Oh,
do that in
okay.
VR. Yeah. So it's not like playing the actual game in VR.
But that'd be really
Alright.
cool, actually. Like when you said that, I was like, man, playing as Tomb Raider in VR, that'd be actually kind of badass. Like I would like that.
Well, you don't get it. I've been having a craving of of an adventure game like Tomb Raider or Uncharted, or a new one that is not those games because I've played them constantly.
Yeah.
Like I've played them so much, I know them.
Yeah.
And
So you want like something new,
yeah, exactly. It is
something new and exciting. Yeah.
in that style, and there hasn't been in a long
Yeah.
while.
With the puzzles and climbing and the parkour. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I would be down for that too.
fun treasure hunting.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep.
So when you said that, I was like,
You're like, what? Where? Where do I get it? Let me see. I recently started Shadow of Mordor.
Hell yeah.
So that was, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty great. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, what the fuck? It was so good. Mass Effect. So I'm playing like a lot of games, like always, but these are just the most recent ones. I'm really loving Dragon Quest Builders
Ooh.
2. I have no idea why I can't put it down. Like I'll spend hours in there, like just fixing my base and stuff. It's weird,
That's so
but I
cool.
love it.
While you're at Sam's, will you pick me up creamer?
I hate you.
Take my cup right now, like
I hate you so much right now. I called you 3 times from Sam's Club. Literally called him 3 times from Sam's Club. Hey, is there anything else while I'm here? He's like, no, you got everything. I'm like, all right. I was at the checkout and I'm like, I'm forgetting something. I know it, because you just got that intuitive side. I called him again. He's like, nope, that's it. I'm like, all right. He just walks past me right now. So while you're at Sam's Club, can you give me some creamer?
I'm all out.
Go die. Sorry. I don't mean it really.
That's too good.
But yeah, so what other games? I did play a lot of games. I played a lot of horror games in October. So I did all of the Dark Picture anthologies.
Oh,
Those were
wow.
great.
You got through all those? That's crazy.
Yeah, I played all of them.
which one is your favorite?
I'm gonna have to say The Man of Medan was probably my favorite.
Oh,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite. It was just the more suspenseful, I guess. And the jump scares were more in that one. The other ones were good, but
Well, I just thought it was simple and good at what it wanted to do, right?
yeah, exactly. Like,
The other ones afterwards, I find they try to complicate things a bit too much for no reason. Like the what was it? The witch one? The I can't remember. The one with the
is it Little Hope?
Yeah, I think so.
Was that the one with the fog?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like it's complicated for no reason. That one.
That one blew my mind though. Like when you got to the end though, I was just like, oh my God. I won't spoil it for other people, but I was like, what the? It was great. But the first one did that to me too. I was like, son of a bitch. I did all that work for nothing. Pretty much. I don't want to even calculate how many hours that was because then I'd be like, wow, I did nothing with my life this year. But play games.
love it. You experienced stories
but
this year.
Until Dawn, all of the Life is Strange ones, the Dark Anthology ones. So they've all basically been like choice ones.
Plus, you had that a while there. You were doing Destiny 2, right? You were going through that storyline.
Yeah, I think I still have to finish the Witch Queen storyline. But I deleted it off my PlayStation 5 because I needed room for all the horror games that I was playing.
Totally get it.
It's like so big. And I'm just like, ooh, I really have to knock out these games because I have Mass Effect Legendary Edition 1, 2, and 3 on there.
Oh yeah, that's a lot.
So like that's a lot. So I have to I can't just like
Oh, yeah.
delete those because I've started though. I started the first one. So.
So,
But all the other ones that I've beat. Oh, and I beat Final Fantasy VII the remake finally.
oh, you
I beat that
did?
the other night.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what sucked though? I was streaming it, right? And chapter 17 and 18, it wouldn't let me broadcast from the PlayStation 5.
That's weird.
So
Why
like,
not?
boom.
Yeah.
It was the game. The game just said, no longer only broadcasting your voice. And I was like, what? And I
But
think
why?
I have no idea. When I was talking to a few other people that tried to do it from the PlayStation, they said that they for no spoilers, maybe
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
copyright issues. Yeah, so I couldn't do. I couldn't even record it on my PlayStation and like upload it to YouTube. It just wouldn't let me record it.
Wow.
You're like on this big chase on your bike, and you're like on the highway, and you're fighting this and that, and dodging this and that, and it was like right there that it just like bloop, no longer. And I was like, what? What? No. And then I was like, I'm sorry, chat, but I'm going to finish this without you. It's going to happen. I can't stop now. Like, I'm knee deep in like boss fights here. It's happening. I can't just go to bed and be like, I'll figure out how to do it from the PC. Like, bro, no. Because I feel bad about that, but I'd already played like 4 hours, and I was just like, I'm so close. It's like right there is the end of the line. So I had to finish it. It was epic.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. That was a good experience at the end.
So it was amazing. And it was amazing, but then it was like to be continued.
Yeah.
Do I have what?
The Yuffie DLC, like the Renegade or whatever it's called. There's like a continuation with PS5
yeah.
DLC, I think.
That's right. Yeah, there was DLC.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I'd have to. Oh, no, I deleted it, but now I'll have to download it to look. Damn it! I'm like, wait a minute, damn it. But yeah, psst, hubby, my birthday's in January.
Mine too.
Is it? When's your birthday?
Yeah.
January what?
21st.
Ooh, mine's the 17th.
Close.
We're so close. Woo woo. Yeah. So all I want is PlayStation gift cards for my birthday. So I told them.
Yeah, I've been looking at the list of 2023 games, and I'm surprised of how little I've played, actually.
Yeah.
Feels like I've played much more games, but doesn't seem to be the case. Maybe
I've played
older
a
ones.
lot. Yeah, I feel like I've played a lot of games this year. Just like a whole lot of different, not really my style kind of games, but I ended up liking them all. So
That's
I
the
did
best, though.
recently download Demon Souls. I think
Right.
is another one
Yeah.
that's on there. I've never played any of the Souls games, so I don't
Jim
know.
will
When
be
I was
very
trying to
happy.
like, oh really? Because like when I was trying to find something to murder the other night, I was like, man, because Skyrim, I wanted to play Skyrim, right? But I couldn't because I couldn't go in and turn off the mods, and I wanted to play unmodded to get all my trophies and kind of wrap it up, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they're whatever. I couldn't access mods for maintenance, so I was like, well, I can't turn them off, and I don't want to just play with mods because I'm not really progressing,
Yeah.
So then I went into the library, and that's when Shadow of Mordor got downloaded, and Demon Souls, and there's another one I can't think of. Scarlet Nexus, I think.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So those are my 3 new games that are there.
So sorry,
I won't
Susan,
finish those all by the end there.
I don't know if you said it or not, but what was the game that took it for you for this year? What was your favorite game that you played, or one that you'd recommend to everyone?
My favorite game that I played this year. I played many. I'm gonna have to say Becoming a Jedi was probably my favorite game.
Oh yeah.
I absolutely loved like the growth of your character as well as like your weapon and just learning and the functionality and the story and yeah, the learning
Yeah.
curve of it, I guess.
Me too. I kick myself in the pants because I said at the beginning of the year after I beat it, I was like, oh man, I'll have to do this. But when you look at New Game Plus, it mentioned something about like more characters would appear and stuff like that. I was just curious what they meant, like if it was gonna be more story added on for replaying it or how they were gonna go about that. Um yeah, you're right. That game was a damn good
It was
experience.
so great. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so glad that like I watched you playing it again and I was like, I gotta go finish that, you know? And the reason I struggled in the beginning was because I had it on like hard mode. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
wasn't getting any. I wasn't playing, and it's my first Star Wars game ever. So here I
Yeah.
am playing on badass mode.
The first boss you come across, the Toad. I love how he like makes you feel like such a weakling after like killing so many like smaller enemies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That game definitely tested not giving up on certain parts.
Oh yeah.
Like that bat. Oh my god, that bat.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was intense. Yeah, that was a good one. The old the old
Um.
man kicked my ass though. That was the worst boss I found in that game. I think he was like the one before
Oh,
the final boss.
oh, the old guy, the dude that you
Yeah,
encounter.
yeah. Fuck, that took me so long
Yeah,
to beat him.
yeah. I think I spanked him.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I remember you told me you're like, oh, I beat him in the first try. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, I was like, I think I spanked him. I was like, fuck this, you're going down. It was so much fun.
I definitely gotta play the second one. That's gotta be another game I add to next year's list.
I know. I just keep waiting for it to like be cheaper.
Yeah,
Like, when's it gonna go on sale? Yeah, like when's it gonna go on sale? Like let's get a little cheaper.
the cheap ass in me.
So what was your favorite game?
I ended up picking Fallout 4 because I said I had such a good time in that one. I like going back into that world. I love Fallout. I don't know, sleep on that entire like setting. It's just a lot of fun to me. Yeah, I think
I don't think I've played any. I played like 15 minutes of Fallout 76, maybe.
oh,
Like
yeah,
just
that's
like
right.
yeah, I just like got to the outside part, like and then I don't know. I think I was on a Destiny binge at that point, so
Yeah, it's just
I'll
I
have
don't know.
to get back into it.
Yeah, the creatures and crap like that. Just it makes it a lot of fun. Like it just I don't
Yeah.
know. It was definitely a different from going from like Skyrim to that. Yeah. And then JW had two different choices.
Yeah, because I had my objective choice, which was Baldur's Gate 3. Objectively
Okay.
speaking, it's probably the best one this year of any game that came out. And my favorite game actually that I've played this year was Alan Wake 2 because of how the narrative was written and how special it was. The way that they presented that narrative in multiple layers was very special.
Okay, I have that in my backlog.
Ooh.
Well, you should get on it quite quick.
I'm like, wait a minute, it's in my backlog. I just saw it yesterday when I was debating on, what I was gonna tackle.
It's another horror game, though. So.
I mean, I love horror games. So
Yeah, but you were saying you were aching for a more hack and slash thing. That's not it. That's like
yeah, that's what I'm all about.
survival horror Resident Evil remake style.
Yeah, that might have to wait a minute then, because I'm definitely on a murdering spree.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask you guys too. Did any of you guys watch the Grand Theft Auto trailer or that pre-trailer, or what I call it, that came out
I'm sorry, what?
for Grand Theft Auto 6? Did either of you guys watch the pre-trailer that
Yeah.
dropped? Yeah. Did it get you hyped?
I did not. I did not.
Well, I mean, there's no gameplay, so
Yeah, that was my thought
it's
too.
a bit underwhelming. But in terms of let's talk about narrative then, or the implication of what they want to do. They seem to want to do a sort of Bonnie and Clyde crime duo type of thing, and it's the type of story that I'm super into. Those
Yep.
type of two characters, either uh, top and partner or crime duo, any of these type of stories. I love them generally. They're sort of a trope that I like. So
I was pretty excited that we're going back into like the Vice City world. That was definitely one of my favorite Grand Theft Autos that I played. So it's nice we got that setting. I guess I was a little bit nervous because I can't remember who's told me, but there was like talk that Rockstar was gonna step back a little bit and try to fit into today's culture and stuff like that. But what I noticed in that trailer was it seems like that term was more used for like all the TikTok and stuff like that. Like there was a scene where a alligator was eating a person, someone was recording it, like stuff like that. So that I thought was kind of neat. That I wouldn't mind. I wonder how that's going to tie into the actual game itself. That's going to be like little news things that flash in your screen or what. That looks kind of cool as well. But I agree with you. I really like the Bonnie and Clyde aspect of it all. I think that'll be a really good character relation to have in that game.
well, I just hope that they don't, because they're supposed to be the edgy people that don't really care about limits and on what they want to make fun of, and I hope that they stick to that.
Yeah, me too. I mean, JB kind of, I don't know, he maybe have some hope with it. I can't remember, it was like 2 podcasts ago on the Super Show. But he was just kind of, reminding everyone that like, hey, these guys made Red Dead 2, they know what they're doing. It's like, okay, yeah, I guess fair enough. Red Dead 2 was a really good game, so I'll leave Rockstar in high hopes.
Sure, but I
There
mean,
you go.
not it's the same company, but I don't think the main people are still there, are they? Like
No, you are right, yeah. 2 of them left the company, right, I think, in the end.
Exactly right. So it remains to be seen, with how when the game comes out with upcoming trailers and all that to see what it will be.
Yeah, like I agree with you. It'll be nice to actually see a gameplay trailer just to see what it actually looks like and plays like.
Although it won't be anytime soon because it's 2025. They said, and I'm sure they're going to have pushback once we get closer to that date.
Yeah, it's less confused. Like when people were like, "Oh, the game show awards, they'll probably have more." I was like, I don't think they will though. Like, how much more could they have?
2025.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's what I thought. He said my last experience was Vice City was the last one I ended up playing. I haven't played anything since then, other than Red Dead Redemption. But yeah, still excited. Still excited to see what it has in store. Yeah, so I guess my last 2 things I was going to ask everyone that was on here was just like, one, is there any game that's coming out in next year that you guys are looking forward to? And then, is there anything like gaming wise you want to accomplish next year? Like for me, it was just to beat 3 games, which I didn't do. So that I guess will be the next year's goal now. Yeah, is there anything for you guys that you had?
Wait, could you repeat that?
One
Yeah,
was
you cut out a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Here, I'll bounce back to Discord. Sometimes I just go through the tabs. It changes that thing. One is there a game that's coming out in 2025 that you guys are excited to play? And then 2, was there any like gaming goals or whatever that you had? So mine was just to beat 3 games, which I did end up doing. Z-Chick, it sounds like yours is play more variety of games this year. Do you have anything different in the future year?
Tackling that backlog a little bit more, but also being a little bit more flexible in, I guess, trying more shooter games because I don't really play them. So, I mean, the only one I've ever really played is Destiny 2. So, yeah,
That's the only shooter
I
game
guess
you
there's
played?
that. Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
I played like Call of Duty like
Oh,
10
okay.
years ago, but
Still counts. Still counts.
yeah, I used to only just log in to kill zombies. So I guess, yeah, that's the only shooter game I play. Weird, right?
No, I get it. Hey, we all start somewhere. Was there any
I mean,
games
I
coming out
like
next?
it.
Is there any games coming out next year?
The Avatar game. I really, really want the Avatar game.
Yeah, me too. I don't know why.
It
There's
looks
something about
gorgeous. It just looks gorgeous, and I love the story. I mean, like, we know the story, so I guess I'm like, is there more? Like, did they expand from that, or is it just like a recap of what we already know?
Yeah.
I guess. You know what I mean? Like, is it going to just be nostalgic for me, or is it going to be exciting and new? Like, where's the story going?
Did you like the two movies equally? I don't know.
I think I liked the first one better. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say, oh, you should watch it, but I definitely would say you could, if you didn't, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it was good. It just wasn't like, oh my god, like the first one. I feel like the first one was just like, wow,
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but I did like both of them. I definitely didn't like them both equally, though. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice.
I mean, I find the first one definitely like much better.
Yeah, because like you're getting to know the characters. There's like development. There's just you're getting to know like a whole new world. New technologies. Like, I don't know. I was like eye opening and exciting and what. Yeah. And the second one, I guess, like touch base. Yeah, like the second one, I don't know. I think I just got lost in like the different, they had like the water ones and like different species, and I don't know. I think I just got a little lost in the story, maybe. It was still beautiful.
Oh yeah, no, visually the best thing it got.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely gorgeous.
What about you, JW?
I don't necessarily have a goal when it comes to gaming, only to, like the game I play.
That's a good goal. I mean, yeah, that's a good goal to have, though, because you don't want to play a game you don't like.
Yeah, it's more, I say this more in the sense of, I usually just look at stuff that interests me and then I buy it and play it and hopefully like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically my goal.
Is there any games you have your eyes on?
There are a couple. I'm trying to think. There's the Dragon's Dogma 2 that is coming up that I'm really excited for. I think it's one of the ones that I'm the most excited for. There's Star Wars Outlaws that look cool, but they just gave a year, didn't give it a date really, so I'm expecting it to be pushed back. But for now, it's 2024. That looked cool.
Yeah, that would look cool.
There's the Space Marine Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 game that was supposed to come out this year that got pushed back to next year. So that and Dragon's Dogma 2, those two games are on my high tier pre-order one. Yeah, must play pre-order once it comes out. And there's one game that looked interesting called Banishers Ghost of New Eden, where again it's like it looks cool. I won't necessarily buy it immediately, but looks interesting. And there's the remastered of the old Tomb Raider games, which I'll wait
Oh,
to see if the port
yeah.
is actually good.
Oh yeah,
'Cause-
like the classics, right? They're gonna remaster those.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
if the controls are better and the port, the PC port itself is good, then I'll probably buy it. Maybe not at day one, but at some point.
Yeah,
But,
it'll be like
Yeah, I'm waiting to see how if it's filled with more bugs, like the remastered version of the Silent Hill, or if it's going to be actually a good remaster.
Yeah, I totally forgot they were gonna have the Tomb Raider ones.
I did too until you mentioned it.
Yeah, well, it's because I played it recently. I thought, oh, we don't really need a remastered. I mean, it's blocky things, and so I replayed it, and I forgot that the controls were terrible of the original ones.
So true.
So if they're going to do a remaster, they better have better control.
Yeah, that'd be terrible if it was like PS1 controls.
If it was the same, they just like re-released it with like slightly better graphics.
Yeah, basically, I could just get a mod instead as well.
Like, here you go.
That's like what they did with freaking GoldenEye when they brought it back out. Everyone was so pumped to play it. I was like, "Fuck, this is the N64 control still." Like,
It's
you
the
know, like-
same. Right.
yeah, it's the same shit. Like,
Oh, I guess I did play another. Sorry about it. Hitman, the Hitman games I played.
oh,
those.
nice. Did you like those ones, C-Chick?
Huh?
Did you like that series, Hitman?
Love,
Yeah.
love them. Yeah, love them.
Oh yeah, there's also Avowed from Obsidian that's coming up, their fantasy game that I'm interested to see if
Oh.
it's going to be good.
Yeah, I remember you showing that one out a few times. Yeah, that would sound interesting.
There's the Rise of the Ronin as well. That's nice.
So many games. There's just not enough time.
Oh, I know. Like literally,
I mentioned they say 2024, but they don't have an actual date, so they might as well be just pushed back. Probably at
Right.
some point.
Right.
I mean, that's you say next year all I'm gonna be playing is the games that came out this year. Like I still want to play Diablo 4. I still want to play Dead Island 2. Oh, so good.
I want to be a cowboy. That looks cool.
I'm really excited here.
It
I
is.
literally,
yeah.
I think Saturday because I was like, oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I'm really excited to hear what your take's gonna be at the end of Mass Effect. Yeah, we ended up beating it.
I mean, so far my only complaint is that I have a flat butt. I like the game. It's a great game. So far, I'm loving it. I think Saturday I wasn't feeling the greatest. So I was like, I'm gonna play nothing but video games tomorrow, okay, babe? But right now I'm gonna sleep in. He's like, all right. So I slept till like noon on Saturday, and then Sunday I just gamed all day. I don't even think I streamed half of what I was gaming. I just gamed. Like I just needed. You just have those days where you're just like,
Yep.
I don't want to do anything else but play a little bit of this, a little bit of that, maybe some more of this.
It's like no
Build a whole
responsibilities,
village.
bitch.
Yeah. Just get lost in the games. Tried a little bit of VR. I just did it all like in one day.
That's the best though. I love
Yeah.
those days.
Yeah, I think husband made French toast in the morning, and then the rest of the day was like corn dogs and pizza rolls and grilled cheese, just like random shit. Like
Yeah.
I didn't make anything. It was all just like snacky. It was great.
Those are the best days.
And then real life happened on Monday, so it's okay.
Aw.
But yeah.
Well, the only thing I had for you guys was honestly I just kept forgetting to mention it every time he popped on, and of course this is the one podcast he's not on. But I did have 2 viewers of the month to announce. So for I just gotta double check. I think it was October. Let's take a peek here. Yeah, I think it was October, November. I have to do this time around. Yeah, I don't do it for December because December is the award show anyway. So if you don't know, I usually get some trophies off Z-Chick, and then we hand those out as the awards so that people can use them as emotes or whatever they want to, or just keep them for the sake of keeping them. But anyway, October's Viewer of the Month. Both these people I'm surprised. I thought I mentioned, so I went on my list. I was like, oh shit, I never really shouted them out. I'm sorry. So the first one's Pizza, obviously. So sorry, Pizza. I'm really shocked. I've never picked you yet, poor guy. Pizza, just a fantastic human on the Discord community. I was just like JW, right? One of the people that got excited to come on here and join me almost every single week for the podcast and just keep it going with keep the conversation flowing. I really appreciate that. I think Pizza is probably one of the funniest people I've met. He could go from like serious to funny. Yeah, just some of the stuff he says too. Like I think in his mind, he doesn't realize how funny it is that he's saying it. Like when everyone starts laughing, that's when he kind of joins in. There was I can't
It's
remember,
like just naturally funny.
yeah, like he said something last year. I think what was it? I think we were just joking around about like dating and like that, and he's like, "Well, mindful, I appreciate it," but he's like, "I wouldn't go on a date with you," but he's like, we could definitely hang out as buddies and all that. And I was like, "Thanks, man. That's not how I meant that comment, but I'm glad to know that's how you'd reject me very kindly." Um,
Very kindly. You're not my type, but we could kick it. We could hang.
yeah, like it was I don't know, it was just funny. So yeah,
It's
definitely
not you,
Pizza.
it's me.
Exactly. But we'll still have a beer. It's okay.
Right.
Um,
That's great.
so yeah, definitely Pizza as one of them. And the other one was said. Um, 'Cause it's so funny because he was just like Ricky, just a random person I met on Twitter. I kind of liked a lot of things he said. Every once in a while, we'd shoot a message to one another, just like catch up. And then finally, I grew the balls and I said to him, "Hey, I got a Discord. You should totally join this Discord." And he was quiet for a while there, but I think with JW and Juggernaut and a few others on the Discord community started to open up a little bit more. And yeah, now really became like a key player on there. And I love the fact that, when there's a conversation, he joins in. Like I said, him and JW were one of the reasons that we have the debate side of the Discord now, where people can talk about things. He also contributed right to the interesting stories one. So yeah, two people that I do apologize I didn't recognize sooner. I thought I did. I'm so sorry. But definitely two people I think that add to our little community, and happy to have them on. So yeah,
Yay!
hey, when you guys I want to reach you, I guess, in case you listen to this as well, just make sure you give me your email addresses, and I'll give you your Amazon gift cards, and then we'll do the shout out later on in Discord for you guys. But yeah, I don't know. Did you guys have anything else before we wrap this up?
No.
No.
Alrighty, well,
Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm always happy to have you, and same with you, JW. Like I said, thank you, my dude, for being on so often, helping me keep a conversation going. It get kind of boring talking to myself.
No problem. I like it.
So like I said, for the next little bit, right, because I have to work on the award show, which both of you actually will be getting the final votes for different reasons. So just to help you out with your ideas. So Z-Chick obviously is going to make the trophies, and then JW, if he has the time, right? But he had a really cool idea that he wanted to add to the award show. So yeah, I'm excited to see how that turns out. Yeah, and then we're gonna resuming this in January, the first week of January. We'll start season 2, which is so funny because I first made this. I said I wasn't gonna do episodes, I wasn't gonna do seasons, and yeah, here we are doing episodes and seasons.
When things kick off and they're fun and people are enjoying it and you're enjoying it, why kill a good thing?
That's true. That was exactly my logic behind it. Yeah. So excited, and yeah, in the next couple
All
days.
right, guys.
No, sorry. Actually, yeah, by tomorrow I should be able to send you both the tallies of the votes, so that'll help you with what you guys are working on.
Okay. Sounds good.
Alright. All right,
All right.
guys.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, and we'll just close that tab now. And the final part of the night. Thank you everybody for tuning in, for being a part of this. I appreciate it more than words itself. I said it's so funny. Um, Thinking back to episode one, I would love to do like episode one compared to this episode. Just see the difference. I did. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I did like last year's recap of the award show because we were all in that Minecraft universe. It was so stupid and silly and fun. Um, so I kind of miss doing that part. Should probably think about doing that again for like episode 100 or whatever. Um, but yeah, like just just a damn good time with all of you. And thank you to everyone that views this. Thank you to my couple of Spotify audience members that watch this every single week. Thank you. I don't know what got you into it, me. I don't know, how you ended up finding it or whatever the case was, but I love it. Like, thank you so much. It's so nice to actually see that bar have a little mountain now from views instead of just flat all the time. And thank you to my loyal YouTube, like I said, viewers that tuned in. The times are always varied, the views are always different, right? But I know from the statistics, right, that there is quite a bit of recurring audience members. So thank you very much for those of you that do that, and anyone that watches in the future. Like I said, just keep watching YouTube. I'm going to be firing out videos left, right, and center now. Streams are coming to a halt almost at this point, just so I can keep focusing on YouTube. This is like the one time of the year where Twitch kind of takes the back burner and YouTube takes full throttle. Just because I want to wrap everything up, right? So every year is a fresh start. I'm not trying to catch up on previous year's work. Yeah, I don't know what to say. And plus, I got like a lot going on to my life right now because it's Christmas and Christmas is chaotic. But I will still see you guys on Friday. I will always commit to my Friday streams because those are important to me. The only Friday stream I might not be able to commit to is on Wednesday. Yeah, that'd probably be the only Friday. Is the one just before Christmas? 'Cause I think that week I have to work all. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll still do a Friday stream. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I hope you guys have a beautiful night, and I will catch you all next time. Bye.